Hi guys, welcome to Make With Me Monday. My name is Robyn Smith. It's Monday, so it's time to make something together. Today we're gonna make sprinkles, and I'll talk to you about it like in a second. But first, I want to get the first batch of sprinkles going and in the microwave so that I have time to like let it cool down a little bit, and it can like cool down a little bit while we're doing our setup. So I'm gonna pop one of these in the microwave. I have two little jars prepped. I'm just gonna pop one of them in the microwave and melt it. And that takes about 2 minutes, so that's good. That gives us time to talk about it. So the sprinkles, I'm going to be using our Cosmetic sprinkle recipe. It's something that we came out with late in the year last year. Hi, Sandra. Sandra says hi. Hi. So the Cosmetic sprinkles recipe is something that we came out with kind of later in the year last year, right before our holiday boot camp. And they are to replace sugar sprinkles in a recipe, or like in a bath bomb. So they're not intended, they don't have scent, they don't fizz, they don't do anything else. Their main goal is to just replace sugar sprinkles, because some people don't like to use sugar sprinkles, mostly because you have to put all the ingredients from sugar sprinkles onto your label, and so that's like kind of a pain in the ass. So sugar sprinkles are these bath sprinkles. Cosmetic bath sprinkles are awesome because it's going to have all the ingredients that are in your probably in your bath bomb, with the exception of like one, and that would be stearic acid. So stearic acid is probably not in your bath bomb, but other than that, like everything in it is something that is cosmetic safe. Well, even the stearic acid is cosmetic safe, but other than that, everything's already in your bath bomb, so you really don't even have to change your label for the most part. Okay, so Karen says hi. I thought I saw somebody else say hi. Carrie says hi. My voice sounds weird on your ear pods. I mean, my voice sounds weird to me when I listen back to it, so I kind of understand that. So the cosmetic sprinkles, they can be piped, which is what I'm going to be doing today. And if you pipe them, you can kind of make this cylinder shape, which is kind of what we call like a classic, you know, round, not round, what is that shape? A classic sprinkle shape. Or you can use a silicone mold. And I think the silicone mold is easier to do. So if you make sprinkles the first time and they end up really flat, or you're kind of having trouble with them, a silicone mold is a great way to do it, because it's basically foolproof with the silicone mold. Let me get this out of the microwave. And I'm gonna add the rest of the ingredients to this, and then I'm going to split this before I color it, and then I'm going to lay out templates, because today I'm actually using templates. And somebody asked me, I have been meaning, it completely slipped my mind, like we had so much stuff going on, but I've been meaning to upload some free templates to the group files, if you're interested in doing what we call fancy sprinkles. So I've been meaning to do that, and I have yet to do that. So I will do that today as soon as I get off of the live. And it's just going to be like basic shapes like circles and hearts. So there's not going to be like a whole lot in there, but if you're interested, those will be on there. And I will be using the heart shape today, so I mean, it's cool. Let me grab a spoon. So the ingredients, yeah, like I said, it's all going to be stuff that's already, most likely already in your bath bomb recipe, which is awesome. Then you don't have to worry about changing your label a whole bunch. And I don't know, that makes life easier if you ask me. I don't like that little spatula I was using. Hi from California. Hi, California. How's it going? So I had this weekend, my older son had Thursday and Friday off of school, and my younger son has had Friday and Monday off of school. So it's basically like a 5-day weekend for me. Plus, we had my younger son's birthday party, which was a go-kart birthday party. And the go-kart place is like basically 30 to 40 minutes away from our house. And so I had, on the invitation, I had like said, you know, like, hey, I know it's kind of far, so if that's too far for you to come and that's like the reason that you're not going to let your kid come, then like we will carpool all the kids there. I think we ended up taking 5 or 6 of the kids plus our own children. So I had like, in total, I think we had like 10 or 11, 13-year-olds plus some that we were like in charge of at a go-kart arcade. So I was like, you know what I'm gonna do sprinkles today. I just need something that's like easy. I need, you know, to chill out a little bit, because that was a lot. Like, it was like a lot this weekend. So here we are with sprinkles. Right. Carrie says, yay, you have the recipe, you just haven't been able to find the time to make them yet. I definitely suggest, if you're gonna do, like, pick an afternoon and let that be like sprinkle day, and just make like a whole bunch of sprinkles on that day, and you will not regret it, because it like, you can spend one day making sprinkles and then have sprinkles for like almost a whole year, because I don't know, I don't use them that much, so maybe I'm wrong about that, but I don't know, I just feel like you can have sprinkles for days if you do this like that. And I just like line out the cups like this. I'll just line them up. You definitely do want to do one batch at a time. I think we've discovered that through other lives. Like I've tried where I heat all the cocoa butters up and stuff like that, and like, no, just do one batch at a time. Take it easy. Why am I putting these on? Hold on, we got to set up our table. The other thing I like to do is I like to do what I'm about to do right now, where I just take the table, and the whole table will be sprinkle land. So instead of using trays, like I could use trays, but I don't really want to. So I want to make strawberries. So I have these templates, this heart, a smaller heart, and then some circles, and I don't want to use the big circle. So these will all be what I upload into the files today. And I don't know, you don't have to use them if you don't want to, but I found that using templates definitely helps, because I'm not as accurate as I thought I was. I'm just not. And you don't have to tape them down like that, but I like to. Sometimes what I'll do is I won't tape them down, and then I'll just tape the freezer paper down, and then I can pull the templates out. So if I have like space, I can do that, but we're not going to tempt the gods today, okay? We're not going to play that right now. And one of the things I see for people that they have a hard time with, is piping it too early. So if you pipe your sprinkles too early, they're just going to go flat and kind of look smushy. And so that's why I'm showing you guys, like, you have plenty of time. Like, I have all this time to set this up while that's kind of cooling down and getting to the right temperature. Oh no. Hold on. I have more tape somewhere. What happened? You're the last unicorn. The last survivor of tape. Okay. I have more tape somewhere if that becomes an issue, but I don't know where I put it. Okay, so now I'm going to put my gloves on. And Octavia is asking, can we use an extruder? I've tried an extruder. It did not work for me. Other people might be able to get it to work for them. It just didn't work for me personally. So you can try an extruder if you want. I didn't find it to be, I don't know, I didn't find it to be, it was a no. It was a no for me, but. Okay. And so, like I said, we're going to split this batch because I want to make some of it red. And then I only need a tiny bit of yellow for the little sprinkle on the strawberries. So I'm going to make just a tiny bit of it yellow. And these are going to be for sugar scrubs. So I don't necessarily have to, like, as far as coloring them, I'm going to use micas. If they're going to go on bath bombs, then you would want to follow like bath bomb regs as far as like coloring them. Since these are going on sugar scrubs, I'm not like really too worried about having like no ultramarine blue or whatever like that, because it's going to go on a sugar scrub, so it's not going to be in contact with mucous membranes the way a bath bomb would. But you can use micas or lakes, and I think that some people have used dyes. I haven't tried using dyes, but I mean, to me, I'm pretty sure that dyes would still fade even if it was in a sprinkle, so that's why I haven't used dyes with it. And you can see this yellow is a teeny tiny amount. It is like so small. So what I'm gonna do is take this piping bag and I'm gonna cut it. So now I have a mini size piping bag. I learned this from watching Cookie People. If you're not in a cookie decorating group, or if you don't follow cookie decorators on Instagram, you should be, okay? They have all the tricks because they've been doing this for like way longer than you or I have been doing it. And if it thickens up, I'm not going to use a piping tip, because just in case it thickens up too much, I can actually pop it into the microwave for like really short increments, like 5 to 10 seconds, especially with this super small amount, and just heat it up real gently and it'll be good to go. So there's no worry about that. And Anna's saying, where can you get the templates? I will be uploading the templates today. It's something that I meant to do. We have a bunch more templates that were uploaded with our holiday boot camp. I haven't really seen a lot of people utilize them, which is fine, because it is like a little bit more, I understand that it's like a little bit more like advanced way to use the sprinkles, but it is possible. So I mean, if people are interested in doing it this way, it is possible. I have some silicone mats over there, so I'll show you when I have like the excess. I'll show you how to use the silicone mats too. But I showed how to do that before in other lives, so that's not like the first time I've done that. But I don't know if I've done the templates on a live. You guys might have to tell me if I have or not, because I can't remember. And then I'm going to put, this is going to be red. So the color for this was Mimosa from Nurture Soap. This is going to be Candy Apple, also from Nurture Soap. I'm just going to mix this color in. And then when we're done with it, I'll do the green. But any extra we have, I probably won't use like all these templates. Like I'll probably do like a couple rows of this one, a couple rows of this one. Check out the circles, see how they do. And then I'll put some in some silicone molds. I'll pipe some into sprinkle shapes. So I'll try to give you a pretty big variety of like what's possible. I'll try to do that. All right, I need an extra cup in here. Oh, this'll do. This'll work. Okay, I just needed like an extra hand. I know one thing that some people struggle with are white spots. If you make the sprinkles and you struggle with white spots, speak up. Tell me about it. I think that happens Most likely because it's not getting that like time to sit and then be stirred again, because anytime that I have tried to rush it where I don't stir it, I've noticed them. And then the other thing is that, like, I've noticed if I have sprinkles in my silicone molds like this and I pull them out too quickly, they can get those little white spots. But if I just leave them in there for like a day or so and then pop them out, then I don't have that. So I think it has something to do with how much it's stirred or how much oxygen is getting to it. I don't know exactly. I know that it's stearic bloom, so it could have to do with the cocoa butter being tempered, but I haven't had like too much struggle with it. So it's always hard when people have like something where like I can't tell them the answer to their problem because I haven't had that issue, and I always like feel really bad. Okay, so this yellow is a little thick, so I'm just gonna pop her in the microwave real quick, and it's probably because I transferred it to like that portion into a cold jar, and so just having it in that cold jar was just enough to cool down. So literally that was 5 seconds in the microwave, and you see how it's coming down into the tip now. So we're just gonna leave her there, and we're gonna start off with red. And I'm just gonna cut this tip. And if you, I don't know, I don't like to use it without a tip when I'm doing the, what is the word I'm thinking of? The long sprinkles. Because I like it to have like that rounded shape, which I don't get as much without that little tip on it. So, okay, so while these are still warm like this, I'm gonna go ahead and add the yellow dots, because I found that if you like can add that second element on there right away, it tends to look better, looks more cohesive. So basically I'm just doing the bottom half of the heart and not like the top half of the heart, so I get that like kind of, you know, strawberry shape. And I know it's not very close. Let me see, try to pull a little closer so you guys can see what I'm doing. And if at any point it gets to where it's too thick, like I said, I can always pop it in the microwave. As long as you do it gently, it should be fine. You don't want it, you want it to be like this, where I'm gently squeezing on it and it's coming out of the bag easily. You don't want it to be where it's just pouring straight out of the bag. That means that the batter is too hot, so you want to let the batter sit for just a minute. And you also don't want it to be where the batter is so thick that you're struggling to get it out of the piping bag. So you kind of want to find that like happy medium between the two. And I could go like that, and it actually looks like those little, or maybe those strawberry things go the other way. I don't know. I got a lot of these ideas from Robot Sprinkle, which my friend Danielle got me on, because oh my gosh, they're like really cute sprinkles. So if you're looking for inspiration, go to Instagram and just look up fancy sprinkles on Instagram, and you're gonna see so much stuff to get you kind of inspired. And then I've also seen the way like other makers use them, and then that kind of gave me inspiration too. So like I know Southern Sky Beauty, she uses them in her sugar scrubs. Who's the other one? Soap Girl 62. She uses them on her sugar scrubs. So there's just like kind of a like body slushies, whatever you want to call them. There's like kind of a bunch of different ways that they can be used. Let's try this smaller. Let's try this smaller one and see if we can get some small strawberries. I might not get the little yellow dots on these. Whoops, I missed that template. So this is freezer paper that I put on top of these templates. I don't know if I specified that. Yeah, this is freezer paper. And then, let's see if we can get some teeny tiny dots. Maybe not worth the effort. Maybe it is, who knows. Oh yeah, totally worth the effort. Oh, maybe not, who knows. Okay, and then the other thing that you can do is you can go like this and just squeeze it out. Okay, once it's cooled down, I'll take a scraper, like what are those things called? You know what I'm talking about, right? You guys know what I'm talking about? Okay, one of those, and you go with it. I'm hoping that through the power of sound effects, I have mentally translated to you what I am actually thinking. And look how just like this tiny amount of batter, like there's a tiny amount of batter in here, right? You actually get a lot of sprinkles from it. So I know that the recipe seems really small, and it is small because you want to work in small batches, but you actually get a lot of sprinkles from each one, which is why I'm saying, like, you can do a sprinkle day and just make the whole day about making sprinkles. I'm going to squeeze the rest of this back in this red. Well, here, let's do some red lines. We'll do some red lines so I can have a sprinkle strawberry mix. So what I like to do is do like a whole bunch of different colors, and then you can make your own blend. So this one I call like a spring mix. This one was like a Valentine's Day mix. So you can have like your own blends. I have like a Halloween mix. I have a party mix. So you can kind of do like your own blends and mixes and stuff like that. And I mean, like, you could literally make every color separate and then just mix them as you want, or you could mix them together. Okay, so I'm gonna put the rest of this red into here. And I'm gonna set it aside. And I'm gonna start heating up the, actually, we'll just heat this up really quick, and then we'll heat up the cocoa butter for the green. So 1 second. Like I said, when you reheat it, you want to do it like really gradually, okay? You want to do like, whoa, my camera's like, no, you touched me. Okay. You want to heat it up really gradually. You don't want to like add a whole bunch at one time in the microwave, or heat it up really fast in the microwave, because it can burn. I've done that and it smells terrible. So say you have extra, or say it's just not working for you, okay? These little pot holders are silicone pot holders. I got mine from Walmart during Christmas time, and they were $1. But you can also get them on Amazon. I got this square shaped one. I wish I could find more like different shapes, but I got that square shaped one on eBay. So you can find, to me, the pot holders are like, it's awesome because it pretty much looks like a round spring. It looks round. It is a honeycomb shape, but like it looks round. I don't think that you can really tell. Like if you're looking at this, you're not like sitting there going like, oh my God, those are not actually round, are they? No, they're not. I don't think anybody's doing that. So anyway, so I'm gonna let these sit in there, and then I'll pop those out later. So far so good, huh? What's going on with this? Oh, this is loose. That's what's up. I try not to move that arm, like if ever, because it tends to lead to disaster. Okay, I'm just gonna clean this up a little bit. Whew. So exciting, making sprinkles, right? Pastry cutter. Thank you, Erica. That's why I need you guys here to help me think with words, because they are hard. Okay. Come here, you. Okay. So now, oh, we need the scale. Oh, sprinkle land over there. Okay, I'm trying to do this without messing anything up. Oh my God. My life flashed before my eyes. Did you see that? Did you see that? Yeah. It happened. I'm okay though. All right. So this is polysorbate 80. And for the shaped sprinkles like this, we do add, like for the fancy sprinkles, I do add 2 extra grams of polysorbate 80 to the recipe, which I have right in right here. So I do always add 2 extra grams of polysorbate 80 to the recipe. So if that's something that you're interested in doing and you have the recipe, make sure you add a little extra 2 extra grams. That's all you need. It's just enough to like take it up a notch. I'm gonna try not to choke as I add this. Should probably be wearing a mask, but I'm not. Just living life on the edge today. You go-kart racing with 13-year-olds one time, and all of a sudden you're Evel Knievel daredevil in your life, huh? Just free balling that SLSA, okay? That's how I do it. All right. I'm gonna stir this in. Okay, let's see if there's any other comments, because I was not able to read because I had it down. Okay, so Kayla says that's probably overheating, and it's hard to save chocolate that's overheating. And quality, so you're talking about cocoa butter quality. There's definitely different levels of cocoa butter, which I never really realized. I mean, I knew that there was, because sometimes I used to get the wafers and they melt really easily. They melt really easily, which kind of makes me wonder how pure they are. They might be pure, I don't know, but it just kind of makes me question it because they melt really easily. Whereas the cocoa butter, like I buy cocoa butter from Soper's Choice, and I buy like a huge, I don't know if it's 30 or 40 pound block at one time. And like that takes minimum 2 minutes to melt in the microwave every time. Like, doesn't matter how much I use. So definitely quality, and it's like super hard. It gets like super hard for me in recipes. All right. And then I add this last little bit. So yeah, I know that there's probably like a quality difference that has to be part of it. Overheating for sure. I looked up, oh my God, I would have bored you guys to death, because I was like gonna go into this huge long thing when I wrote the recipe about stearic and like stearic blooms and how stearic acid is naturally in cocoa butter, and how it floats to the top, and how cocoa butter goes through like several different phases as you heat it up and cool it down, because it has like a lot of crystallization that happens with it, and like tempering chocolate. And there's a lot about tempering chocolate, but nothing that I could find personally about tempering just cocoa butter, like straight cocoa butter. So I would have bored you to tears about it, but the TLDR is that, you know, it's a little bit more complicated as far as like cocoa butter, but to me, the best solution is heat it up, let her sit a minute, and give her plenty of stirring time. And I only have issues when I don't do those steps. So, which like you kind of need to stir it anyway, because like I usually use a little mini whisk, and I didn't today. I don't know where my mini whisks are. I didn't pull them out. I almost couldn't find my glasses, and then I was about to start the live, and I realized I had a political shirt on, and I was like, should I change that shirt? And I was like, yeah, I should change that shirt, because I don't want it to like ostracize people just based off that. Like, we can all have different politics and still love bath bombs. So I was like, no, I'm gonna take that shirt off. Like, there's no point in wearing, and plus it was like a political shirt from like 2002, so it's like so irrelevant but would still piss people off. So I was like, no, 1000% not worth it. I'm just gonna go change my shirt really quick. And then I found my glasses. So God works in mysterious ways, they say. Okay, so if I was going to use a silicone mold, this would be the perfect time to do it, because see how fluid that is? For a silicone mold, you really want it to be fluid. I mean, you can squish it in like I did with that one, but you really want it to be fluid, so it just like fills all the little gaps and cracks and stuff like that. So here's the silicone mold. That was, that's from Sophistication, I believe. I have a bunch of different ones. Now, the more complicated a mold is, okay, so like in the recipe, there's pictures of a Monstera mold, or Monstera shaped sprinkles. And like, yeah, those are cute. Don't get me wrong. Those are cute. But they were literally just the biggest pain in my tushy that you can even possibly imagine. They were such an annoying little piece of beautiful shenanigans, which is, I think, how beautiful things are. You know, it's like the prettier it is, the more trouble it is. So it's like, it was so cute, but it was also like really difficult to work with. And it has to do with like when you're popping it out of the mold, a lot of times the little, like, I haven't tried this mold yet, and I'll let you guys know how it goes. I'm worried about the little tails possibly breaking. If Nectaria watches this, maybe she can like give us a hint about like keeping the tail from breaking. But I figured it's still worth a shot, you know, because I have this green here. I had some other, I have like a round one pulled out, and then I have those green squares. So I have some other shapes I can show you, but there are specialty shaped ones. I typically would go for, if you want to do a specialty shaped one, I would typically say go for something like a heart or a circle that's like a little bit easier to work with. Because it's just, is it worth the heartache? If it's worth it to you, then get it, girl, okay? But if you have already got bath bomb related PTSD and you are easily triggered by bath bomb related items and accoutrements that don't make your heart happy, you know what I'm saying, then don't do it, girl. It might not be worth it, but if you have the patience, okay, possibly it's worth it. All right, let's get this last little bit of green into a piping bag. So once I transfer it, it's still very fluid, okay? But once I transfer it from, I'm sorry, I'm gonna clean this up so you guys aren't looking at just absolute trash. Whenever y'all are like, I wanna see your work area, I'm like, no, you don't. No, you don't. Don't ruin the illusion, okay? There's a TikTok where they're like, what they think living with an artist is like, and then what the reality of living with an artist is like. Yes. Okay, that's all I'm gonna say. Okay, so let's get this last one. So it's very fluid because it's in this little, yeah, canning jar, which is keeping all that heat in. But the minute that I transfer it either to a cold canning jar or this piping bag, it's going to start cooling down. So that can help too with the cooling down process. And actually what I like to do generally is put it into the piping bag and just kind of hold it for a little bit like I did with the yellow. And then I get a better sense of like how things are gonna go. You know, I get a better sense of how my relationship is going to be with this particular batter on this particular day. I will once again say though that I do believe it's better if you're going to do multiple colors that you do each little batch separately like this. I've done a couple different lives where I've made sprinkles on a live, and I've tried different things like where I heat all the cocoa butter up and then try to reheat it later on, or like mix everything in and try to do it again later on. And have never been, it's never as successful as I want it to be. So for me, in my opinion, the best way to have success with this is just to go ahead and just keep it small. Work in small batches, okay? There ain't no rush. There ain't no rush. So we're gonna let this cool down just a little bit. Right? And then once these are cool, I wish I had some cool ones that I could show you, but basically once these are cool, you'll just be able to flip them over and pop them straight out. Actually, this one might be cool. You don't want to do it this early. I'm just doing it to show you. Don't do it this early though, okay? Leave it in there. You can either leave it, if you're gonna leave it out in your workroom, so my workroom gets pretty hot, so I wouldn't prefer to leave it in my workroom. But like if you live in a place that has more temperate climate, you can leave it in your workroom overnight or something and it'll cool down, or you can pop it in the microwave. There is a crystalline structure though that's like part, like I kind of mentioned that before, that's part of cocoa butter. And so some people are like, oh, I just made these like yesterday or 2 days ago and they're still kind of soft. That's okay, that's kind of normal. Give it like 3 or 4 days and then you'll get that clicky clackety, real sprinkly sound to it. You know what I'm saying? And then you can keep them, store them any kind of way you want. I have shelves of ones like this and I just stack them on top of each other, or you can keep them like this in a big thing. This is the most common combination for me, so it's like a rainbow sprinkle set. So since I make this the most, I just have a big bin of this, and when I need to use it, I can just grab a handful out and they're ready to go. You could keep your colors separate. You could have like a red, you have one of these, and it could be red, yellow, blue, green. Go down the orangey bib for your rainbow, right? And then you could, like I said, you could make your own like combinations of colors as you're ready to do it. So it just kind of depends. All right, I think that this guy, he still feels a little bit warm, but let's give him a shot. Let's see what he is up to. Upgrade. Let's see what he's doing. Oh my gosh, my neighbors. They are repairing their fence, and so it's been a lot of like, it scared me a couple times because like the sound of things being right there, like I don't normally have that. Okay, these are cute. I'll shush up and let you see this. Okay, so basically I'm just filling in the top of this little heart area, and I do want to kind of overlap them to make sure that they connect and that I don't have them breaking on that spot later. I don't want them to break. I want them to be connected. And there's no strawberry sprinkle template. This is just a heart, but I will add it to the file, the group file. So look in the group files and give me about an hour, up to an hour. So the first thing I do when I get off of live is I add all the links. So give me just a little bit so I can add all the links, and then I will upload the files and it'll be free files. Now if you did the holiday boot camp, you got a whole bunch more. You got, I don't even know, you got like a ton more. So the holiday boot camp has more, but you know, I'll have like a few free ones up there for you guys if you're interested in that. And for the holiday boot camp, man, Amanda and I went nuts making sprinkles, and we were even talking about, we were like, dude, we should have a sprinkle club. We should just have like a sprinkle club, And like once a month we do like, you know, cute sprinkle designs and like just focus on sprinkles. And very typical, like I always have, I have more ideas than I have time to implement. So we never have like done that, but you know, my heart, if at any point people are like, we demand a sprinkle club, boo, that's all you gotta say. Okay, that's all you gotta say. I will be there, darling. Don't even worry about it. I would be there. Because I would make sprinkles I would make fancy, I literally was like, I could close down my business and just make fancy cosmetic sprinkles all day long and be a happy little child for the rest of my life, just plodding away, making fancy sprinkles. You know what I'm saying? Okay, do they look a little bit like a tomato when they're small? Yes. Am I okay with that? Yes. I feel like you could also do acorns like this, like in the fall. How cute would that be? Like do like a light brown on top and then like a dark brown on the, a light brown on the bottom and like a dark brown on the top, and you could have acorns. I'm particularly in love with acorns because I wrote a children's book about an acorn, and someday I'll publish it, and it's like, oh my god, it's the cutest little book in the whole world. So I have like a ton of like acorn stuff, like acorn like I have acorn cookie cutters and stuff like that. I have just a bunch of acorn stuff. And then I'm just, you know, I don't have to go back over it, but I am. Cute. Okay, so let's make some more. We'll make some more whatever this shape is. Now look, I can tell that this is a little bit hot because these are flattening out a little bit. I don't know, you probably can't tell, but it's flattening out just ever so much. So rather than have like a bunch of flat looking sprinkles, I'm gonna put, because I had more time to talk, like between the red and the yellow, right? I had more talking time and all that stuff. So I'm just gonna squeeze some of it onto here, and we'll make some green squares to go with our red and yellow. But that's the thing, you can just like keep making so many different shapes and so many different designs. With the holiday boot camp, what we did is we had like, oh my god, we had tables, all the tables, any flat surface in the condo where I was staying, we had covered with templates and freezer paper. And basically we would just go around and be like, okay, do you have anything that needs a light brown? You know, because we had like all these colors, like kind of. Oh, are we back? Did it lag for you guys? Because it lagged for me. Anyway, holiday boot camp, we had all the templates laid out, and basically it would be like, okay, I need a brown here, I need a green here, I need a yellow here. Anyway, it was a lot of fun. That's pretty much it, guys. Let me go back through and see if you have questions. Have no fear, I'll post the links for this recipe if you don't have this recipe, and I will post the files. Yeah, don't worry, I'll post the files. Let's see what we got. Anybody got questions? Pastry cutter. I needed that. Those words are like really hard for me today. Okay, so Octavia asked about the extruder. Yeah, I think I tried an extruder a couple lives ago and it just didn't work. Now maybe, I hate to say no, that something won't work, because if I tell you no, then you're just gonna then you might accept that it won't work, and then you might never try it for yourself, and you might have a different technique, you might have a different touch like that, and you just get it. And so I hate to say no, but for me it didn't work. But that doesn't mean that there's not some magical person out there who has the right touch who couldn't get it to work. It's just not me. So I mean, to me there's like a bunch of different other options, so I go with that before I do the extruder. But yeah, and then just a bunch of highs. I love that you guys say hi to me. It makes me so happy. And then where do I get the molds from? These This shape, this is like a pot holder from Walmart. During Christmas time I got it. So like during the seasonal, like any of the seasons where there's like a lot of cooking, they usually pull these out, but you can also get them on Amazon. And then this one I got from eBay. I looked for silicone pot holders was the search term that I used, and I was just excited because it was a different shape. So that's what I used for that. These you can get from Etsy. There was one in particular that I used. They just tend to be expensive. That's the only thing about these, but they are very cute, so it's good for like a couple custom shapes to have in your mix, but I wouldn't do like a whole mix like that. Like I would add like a couple custom ones. And then that's from Etsy, or like these particular ones are from Sophistication, but I have some other ones. Like I have these Monstera ones, and these are from a different store, but also on Etsy. So you can just look for like silicone, I cannot remember what they're called. It's like resin charms or something like that. It's some term like that, but Etsy. I think that's it for today, guys. I will definitely post an update and show you these sprinkles when they're cooled down. I don't want to pull them off right now, although they probably are cool enough to pull off right now. I just don't want to do it. I don't tempt fate, okay? So that's pretty much it. If you guys have any more questions, call them. Oh, call them. Don't call them. Deanna though says that they Walmart has some of these and they're calling them trivets. So yeah, silicone trivets. That's another search term that you can use. But if you guys have any more questions, make sure that you add them, and if you like watch the replay or anything like that, and I will try to come back and answer them for you. That's pretty much it for today. Thank you for hanging out with me, and happy making. Bye.